everybody. Welcome to Make an Impact Monday. I'm Lori Joy. Lovely to have you with us today. We are diving into an exciting topic, which is ways that live launching turns your audience into paying clients. So if you're here live with me, say hello. Let me know that you're on hashtag Team Live. If you're catching the replay, also let me know that you're on the replay, hashtag Team Replay. Whether you are putting us on your calendar at noon or not, or you're coming back, this is something that you can actually go out today and start to do in your business. 3 ways to take live launching and turn your audience, people who are just watching you, into paying clients. Now, I have a ton of tips, but I'm just going to go through my favorite top 3. So again, if you're here, say hello in the comments so I can see you and we can get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to call out your ideal client with your boot camp. Now, that's what I teach. I teach live launching using a boot camp style method as a lead generation system to attract your ideal client in and seamlessly lead them to the sale. So the first thing we're going to talk about is when you live launch. What are you doing to talk or to bring in your boot camp people or your people into your boot camp with your promise? The next thing that we're going to talk about is just going live and how it beats any and all algorithms. So we'll talk about the social media platforms, we'll talk about the social media channels, and we'll talk about why going live trumps them all. But not just about going live. What are you saying when you are going live? I want to talk about a little bit of strategy today that you can go out and immediately put into your business, and then, rock it. Go from there. The third thing we're going to talk about is how to seamlessly lead your people to your business. How are we going to turn them from an audience, someone who's just watching us, getting to know us, getting to like us and trust us, to a paying client? So let's go back to the first one where we're going to call out, good morning, Nicole Reed. We're going to call out our ideal client with our bootcamp promise. All right. Now, live launching is something that obviously I teach. It's something I love to do. I go live here with you every Monday, but there is a strategy behind it. I'm not just out there going live for no reason without a strategy behind it. And if you're not going live, it's going to take you a lot longer to turn your people who are just watching you, getting to know you, to paying clients. If you're doing it through Facebook posts, if you're doing it through Instagram posts, if you're doing it through, 7 to 10 times of posting a day, like we were talked about before, I see that's so antiquated. You have to let that strategy go. Going live really helps expedite this process. So when we are talking about going live, I want you to think about what you're doing or how you're attracting in that ideal client. And I want to kind of break it down for you on the whiteboard here today. So if we're talking about attracting our ideal client, okay, first of all, what has to happen is a lot of you have to get clear on exactly who that ideal client is. Who are the people that you want in your business? We don't work with everyone. We work with certain people to get an ultimate result and a transformation, either using our network marketing products or through our program in our business. So when you are attracting your ideal client, one of the things I want you to think about is your bootcamp topic. So we do a 5-day live boot camp. It's a live event. You can call it a boot camp. You can call it a challenge. You can call it an event. You can call it whatever you want. The fact of the matter is the strategy behind it is you are showing up on a repeated basis, day after day, to deliver a promise to your people. This boot camp promise is going to make or break your boot camp. This is going to make or break who is attracted to your live event. And if they stay, and then if they continue, if they do the homework, if they take you up on your learning, that's all strategy as well. But the very first thing you have to do is get people through your doors. Now, think about this. If you have a brick and mortar store, if anybody has ever been to Staples, one of my favorite places to shop, okay, I love, pens and pencils and post-its and all those kinds of office supplies. So if you're with me, if you love a good office supply store, you have to put me in the comments. So what happens is often those companies, those brick and mortar stores will put out a flyer. Okay, so that's their way of grabbing your attention, and they will have what's called a door crasher special, or what it actually is something that they're losing money on in order to get you in the door. Once they get you in the door, then they know you are more apt to sell, or sorry, to spend. So what happens is, say for example, they'll lose money on a pack of notebooks, but the price is so good that it brings people in. Door crashing special, right? Brings people into the brick and mortar store. And then what happens is you're spending. So it's that one piece, that one promise, that one sale, again, they're losing money on, in the hopes that you come in and spend more. This is what you're doing when you're attracting your ideal client to your live event. Live launching does not have to be hectic. It does not have to be overwhelming. It does not have to be scary. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I'm going to talk about that when we talk about the second part about going live. But this bootcamp promise has to have a number of elements to it. It has to talk to and attract your ideal client. So my bootcamp promise, when I put it out there to the world, is that I work with online course creators and network marketers. Those are my two ideal clients: people who are in network marketing and people who have an online program or course and or want to have one. And I help you have 5-figure launches. I help you get people into your business and have that $10,000 to $99,000 launch. That's my promise for my program. The promise for my boot camp is that you're going to come in, and in 5 days you are going to have your entire boot camp or live challenge planned out with my help. And it happens. If you come in on day 1 and you stay till day 5, you have your entire boot camp blueprint all filled out. That is my promise. There's nobody else out there that has that promise. So I put a big, bold promise out there, and I tell exactly who it is for. If you are not niching down, if you are not talking about who it is that you want to serve, then your ideal client doesn't know if your challenge is for them. If you're talking to all women, if you're talking to all men, you're not allowing your ideal client to say, hey, that challenge is for me. I'm a mom. I'm a professional. I am a teacher. I am a skater. I am a baseball coach. If you're not calling out your specific niche and then delivering a bold promise, chances are your ideal client doesn't know that your boot camp or your live challenge is for them. Now, sometimes we're scared to niche down. Sometimes we're like, but my product does help all women, or my program can help all men. The fact of the matter is, you have to attract your ideal client, someone who is already in that pain, someone who is looking for your solution and to expedite it through your paid program or buying your products. Someone who doesn't want to buy your products because they're too expensive is not your ideal client. For someone who doesn't want to pay to get the results you're getting as a program coach is not your ideal client. And sometimes we think, well, if I don't say all women, then I'm cutting out, a whole bunch of women. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So when you are thinking about hosting a live event, which is what live launching is. If it's a 3-day, if it's a 4-day, if it's a 5-day, I've seen some people do a 21-day. I've seen some people do a 30-day. I would never do that. I think it's just a little too long. But the fact of the matter is, when you are putting your messaging out to the world, when you are talking about who this bootcamp is for, have a promise very clearly stated as to who this boot camp is for, and then what are they going to get if they spend 5 days with you? What's going to happen when they spend 4 days with you or 3 days with you? What this means is your messaging has to be very clear. Your ideal client has to be very clearly stated, because time is someone's most expensive commodity, right? Good morning, Anne. You can't get time back. So for someone to clear out their schedule and come to your live challenge, you have to make it worth their while. And that's your bootcamp promise. Okay. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about your attracting your ideal client with your bootcamp promise. And if you need help with that, put it in the comments. We can kind of talk about it and we can kind of work that out. So lovely. Okay. The second way to turn your audience into paying clients, this first part that we just did, you're actually attracting and calling out that ideal client. Some of us are missing the mark with our messaging. And then you're wondering, why don't I have people buying when I run a boot camp or I do a live challenge or I put out a post? They just don't know it's for them. Okay, so we're going to get clear. Now, I always talk about going live. I love going live. I do it in my business all the time. I share it with my ladies in my Launch It Live Academy to do the same thing. Now, going live will beat any and all algorithm, no matter what social media platform you're on. So if you like to hang out on Facebook and you just want to post, the algorithm is so low. Your post, sometimes even less than 1% of your followers are seeing that post. And unless a lot of people start interacting with it, the post does not get boosted up in their Facebook newsfeed for them to see it. It's just not. When you go live, every single social media platform favors it. Facebook loves Facebook Live. Instagram loves you going live. You can go live with stories. You can go live with Instagram TV, they reels, right? Little snippets of video. They love you being live. LinkedIn has a way for you to go live now. TikTok, that's all it is being like live and recorded videos. Well, I guess recorded videos isn't really live, but seeing your face and hearing your voice, that's the point. That's going to beat any algorithm. But let's take it one step further. I just don't want you to go live just to go live, just to, oh, Lori says if I go live, it's going to beat the algorithm and people are going to start coming. There's so much strategy to going live. What I want you to think about when you go live, what are you saying? When you go live, what are you saying that's different from everybody else? I really want you to think about that today. I want you to think about how you are going to stand out in this sea of people that are also either selling your network marketing products or are doing and selling programs and courses that you are as well. How are you going to stand out and be different? Now, sometimes you have to be polarizing. And polarizing just means not that you're mean-spirited or you're, yelling or, doing all that. But what's happening is that maybe you're just not agreeing with what everybody else is saying. If you're a lemming and you're just following what everybody else says, once that first lemming goes off the cliff, all the other lemmings follow. And because there's so much white noise on social media, what's happening if you're not stating something that goes against the grain, you're not going to stand out. This is how you catch people's attention. So, for example, in my own business, you ladies and gents know that what I do is live launching. I do boot camps, and some people you will see will post ads and all the live launching is exhausting. Stop live launching and just run evergreen. I think it's the worst advice someone could ever give you. Maybe they didn't have success with live launching because they went to town to make it made it more difficult. The whole name of this group is Launch It Live Simplified. Do you know there are two ways to live launch, or there are two things in a live launch that you need when you first start out? Do you want to know what they are? Just put number 2 in the comments. Do you want to know what the two things are that people want when you start live launching? Because sometimes I think as entrepreneurs, we go to work to make things difficult. So what happens is people want you, that's the first thing, and then they want your content. That's the second. That's it. That's it. You opening up your computer, hitting Facebook Live, go live, and just start teaching. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles that go with boot camps that people have. When I first started 10 years ago doing live launches, it was Periscope on my phone and a free Facebook group because that's all there was. Facebook Live wasn't even around. And I just showed my face and I went live and I taught what I knew, right? I taught what I knew. Now, what happens is you don't have to complicate live launching. So I go against the grain. When people say live launching is exhausting, I call bullshit. It is not. You can go to town and you can make it as difficult as you want. But the fact when you take that live portion out of your business and you're just running evergreen, where's the human connection? Right? I see lots of people posting, "Oh, I made such and such dollars this particular month." And and I just sit back on my computer and the money just rolls in. First of all, that's horse manure. That's not how it happens. And second of all, don't you want to get to know your people? Don't you want to know that Nicole, right, is at home with her kids and she's, launching her lash business? Don't you want to know that Anne is coming to the market and she's going to teach you how to ditch the diet because it's also horse manure? Don't you want to know that about your people? Don't you want to get to know your clients? Don't you want to, be invested in what they do? Someone who runs a business and has no idea who's paying them and just, oh, here I made, 10K this month, but you don't know who those people are, that does not resonate with me. That is not on my moral and value plan. Not at all. And so I want to go against the grain when I go live and say, launching live doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be exhausting. It's a mere 30 minutes to an hour a day for 5 days. And you can do that in once a quarter for every year. You can do that every month. You can do that twice a year. You mean to tell me you can't show up for your people for 5 days for 30 minutes and go live? Come on, right? Now, not everybody agrees with what I say, but that's okay. That's when I go live and I open my mouth about what I do with my business. It's different than what other people are saying. I want you to start to think about what everybody else is saying in your network marketing business. I want you to start to think about what everybody is saying about what it is that you coach. So, for example, Anne's watching. She teaches, wants you to ditch the diet, right? Diets don't work. We all know that. But what can Anne say, or how can she say it that's going to make her stand out from every other person on the internet that is also saying ditch the diet? It's her mannerisms, it's her personality, it's her type. It's all of the different things that make you unique. Really dive into that today. Dive into that today. And I challenge you to go out and either do a quick Facebook story or a quick Instagram story or even just a quick post. I'm always going to want you to go live, but you can make a post. But put up some polarizing content, right, about your business. What other people say is so great, right? I do not believe that. And so when I stand up and talk about live launching, it's different. It's a different narrative. What's a different narrative that you can bring to your people today to start making you stand out? Because when you polarize your content, that's when people start to pay attention to you. Okay. And I'm not talking about politics, and I'm not talking about COVID, and I'm not talking about all of those crazy things. I'm talking about your business. Okay. I'm talking about your business. Okay. So, number one, just to go over, was calling out your ideal clients with your bootcamp promise. What are they going to teach you, or what are they going to learn from you in 5 days? Call them out and make it worth their while, because time is a hot commodity and people don't want to spend it with you if it's not worth their while. The second thing, start going live. Go live today. An Instagram story or a Facebook story is 15 seconds. Show your face. Get out there. Be the face behind the brand. Let people hear you, let people see you, but start to talk about how you are going to stand out from everybody else, okay? And the third thing I want to talk about is seamlessly leading people to your business. Now, what happens oftentimes is, if I were to say to you last year, how many times did you go live and offer your business to your audience? Some of you might say 0. Some of you might say 1. Some of you might say 3. Some of you might say 5, right? Last year, we offered Launch It Live Academy through our bootcamp 5 times. Okay. Over the year, we spread it out, and that meant every 6 weeks we went live till September. We were going to do a 6th, but we didn't. So what happens is, when you're asking people to join your business, there's a number of mitigating factors. One, it has to start with you and your mindset. How do you feel about sharing your business? Okay. So I want to give you a story. I have a lady in my academy who's a network marketer. And, she was going to put up a post last week to her Facebook page saying, I never thought I would be part of network marketing. I never thought I'd do it. I hate sales. I hate selling. And I was like, right there. Right there, we need to do some work around our mindset. So if you aren't putting out your offer enough times during the year, there's probably something within you that's stopping you. So is it a fear of, seeming salesy, right? Is it something within you that, you're thinking, oh, I already know people are going to say they can't afford it if I put it out there, right? Is there something inside that internal narrative that's stopping you from shouting on the rooftops all about your program or your products? Because if you aren't out there talking about how great it is to ditch the diet, wear magnetic lashes, go live and be in live in your business, who is going to do it? Do you think somebody else is going to come in and say, Lori's got the best business ever. You should hear her. You should listen to her. No, nobody's doing that. I'm the one that has to do that. And so do you. You have to be the one who's like, ba, 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 ba. I have an announcement. I have the greatest thing ever for my ideal client, right? For the people that are already looking to solve that pain point or problem. What happens is, there might be some shame around selling. So what I said to my particular lady who's in network marketing, I said, could you imagine, right? Okay, I have this right here on my desk. This is my little energy bottle I call it Mama's Little Helper. This saves me every single day. I have 1, sometimes 2 a day. So it's an all natural energy drink that just gives me a little pep in my step, gets me going, and I love it. Could you imagine, like, I've taken this every day for a decade, right? But it wasn't out when I first started. So maybe 5 years. I love this product. I couldn't live without this product. If my product runs out, I panic around this product. Could you imagine if my girlfriend didn't tell me about this product? Right? Where would I be right now? Lethargic, slumpy, tired, yawning, want to have a nap at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right? Anybody else hear me? So the fact of the matter is, if you have something in your repertoire. If you have a product, if you have a pathway, if you have a solution that your ideal client is looking for, then you need to get up on your soapbox, turn on your Facebook Live, turn on your Instagram Live, and go and tell them. Go and tell them and seamlessly start asking the right people to come to your business. Remember, we're not asking everyone to come into our business. And that's the mistake I think sometimes we make. I made it. When I first started on this journey, I took anybody in my business, anybody who wanted to work with me. I was like, yes, come on in. This is going to be great. It was not. It was not great at all. And so what happens is you have to start to master your messaging. You have to start to talk to the ideal client, and you have to know that you are helping every single person who hears your message. If they are coming to your lives, if they are in your group like you are right now with me, if you are here at noon Eastern watching these lives on Monday, or you're catching them on the replay, when you are here, my message is for you to start going live in your business to make you stand out from everybody else, because the extra mile is not crowded. It isn't. So when you are leading people seamlessly to your business, one, you have to start making more offers. If you're not telling people how you can solve their problem with your product or your program, how do you expect them to know? Right? Are you like sending some vibes and they should just know? No, absolutely we're not. So what you need to do is put out more offers. You need to change your mindset about what it is that you're offering and or sharing, because selling is caring. Selling is serving. When you have something that can change someone's life and you don't talk about it, you're doing your ideal client a disservice. Okay. So let's go back over. We talked about the 3 ways to have live launching turn your audience into paying clients. The first thing is you want to start to attract your ideal client to your business. So I will always say, before you start to offer your products or your program, to put a 5-day or 4-day boot camp out in front of them. And when you do that, you're going to say, I promise you that at the end of these 3 days, I promise you that at the end of these 5 days, if you come to my boot camp and you tell them who it's for, I am going to do such and such with you. Make it worth their time. Make it worth their while. The next thing you're going to do, obviously, is start going live, but not just going live. Let's start going live with a message that's different from everybody else. Let's start going live and having some polarizing content that makes you stand out in the sea of everybody else that you're doing. And the last thing is you want to change your mindset around selling. You want to change your mindset and think, there are people out there waiting for me to show up, because they're, silently praying for the solution that I have. So if you have something that can give more energy, less chronic pain, walk their business and make it more successful, you have an obligation as an entrepreneur to do so. Make the offer, attract the ideal client, ask them to come into your business and get the results that they want faster. I hope that you're going to take one of these tips, if not all 3, and go out today and go live with some polarizing content and start to talk to your ideal client, draw them in so that when you launch your boot camp, you are ready to go and start to build your business. I cannot wait to see what you do. Let me know in the comments. We'll see you next Monday here at noon.